You got Coach Sewell stuff in front of you. Gonna bring him in?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Not a problem.
Oh yeah, Coach. This is a big day, Coach. This is a big day.
Man, look, we had a week off, boy. And, I had a lot of things going on in my life. So I had to get some things straightened out. I tell you what, that cell phone was the best thing they invented.
Coach, Coach, I thought you might have got put on punishment, Coach. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't get in contact with you, Coach. But I figured you was working on it, whatever it was.
Hey, losing your cell phone is punishment. Well, I didn't lose mine. Mine just went out after about 3 years having it. I dropped it too many times, Coach, and it just went out. And boy, let me tell you something. That's punishment when you live with it in your hand.
It's our connection to the world, Coach.
Yes, sir.
It's our connection to the world. There's not much we can do it without it. We gotta have it. People say we got a chip. They gonna embed a chip on us. No, they ain't gotta embed a chip on us. We carry this everywhere we go. They got a chip on us right here.
Yes.
So sometimes, you just gotta. It is what it is, Coach. You gotta make it happen.
Boy, what did we have an agenda, or we just kind of shooting it from the hip tonight before our special guests come on?
Oh yeah, Coach. We can Coach, we got a few things we can cover, Coach. We got a couple things. We can we can go over your favorite HBCU coaches. We can discuss those guys, man. But
let's do the Super Bowl a little bit. The Super Bowl.
Okay, Coach. I think that's good. Hey, let me welcome everyone to HBCU Coaches Corner. I am your co-host, Rocky Miller, along with my partner in crime, Stephen Campbell, the HBCU Unk, the historian himself, the FAMU Rattler. And for our featured host, the reason why you all tune in is none other than the coach himself, the SIAC Coach of the Year, the SWAC Coach of the Year, the SIAC champion, the SWAC champion, none other than our man, Coach Johnnie Cole.
I don't know where he went to. He was on 5 minutes ago. He left the building, but I'm stuck here in the seat. But, it's a great time to get on back, Coach, and I miss this feeling being with you guys on this show, and I got a lot of calls, man. They ready to go, man. They ready to get this thing back going, and so I'm fired up and I'm ready as well.
Oh, hey. So before we get started, I always we may make this a segment some kind of way, because this man keeps his ear to the HBCU streets, right? And he lets us know everything that's moving and grooving in HBCU sports and HBCU culture. Campbell, can you let us know what's going on in the HBCU streets right now? What's moving, what's shaking, what the rumblings are?
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. See, this is the AARP section of the Off Script channel. Script been on, he came on early, talked about some thing, had Coach Terrell Buckley. Hopefully we'll get to talk a little bit about that valley. But just one thing, Rocky, today is your birthday, is it not? Are you not the double nickel?
I am the double nickel tonight.
The double nickel. See,
Coach, you 5-0.
Yeah, man, he 5'5".
You 5-0, man.
No, I'm 55, man.
55.
I'm 55.
Okay.
Hey, I'm my favorite 55 is Derrick Brooks.
Well, happy birthday there, Coach.
Yeah.
You don't make me sing the song. I would have came out with the voice.
No, Coach. Save us, Coach. I know you got a lot of talents, but you couldn't be blessed with good looks, charismatic, a great leader, and being able to sing, Coach. I don't think you got them. I don't think you 4 for 4, Coach. I don't think you 4 for 4. So don't try it out on me.
Let me know our fans know. Hey, Rocky do my taxes, and he's selling me up, boy. Boy, you got him, man. I've been with you for 5 years, Coach. But I appreciate it, though, Coach. I am good looking now. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. As a 55-year-old man, it's just good to be here on earth. And with the fact that I have the use of my mind and most of my limbs, well, I guess, let me see, have the use of my limbs and most of my mind. I'll just put it like that. I'm just happy to be here, and it's always a pleasure being here with you guys. It's the highlight of my week. We took last week off because our featured host was having some telephone communications problems, man, and so it just threw him off. But I'm glad to be here with you guys on my 55th birthday, and I can't even put into words what it means to be 55 and in good health and good spirits with great friends and a great family. That means everything to me. Well, notice I didn't say nothing about no money, but I'll be all right anyway.
Birthday, Coach. Happy birthday to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
you were saying that Campbell was going to bring us up to par on what's happening in the black college realm, black college sports.
Well, Coach, I just want to sit back there, and looks like, we talk about the school often, North Carolina A&T, and hey, you know what I like? Sean Gill's supposed to be our coach. That's what the people from North Carolina A&T say. He's supposed to be our coach, but now he's their coach. But, Coach, you know what he did? Which we talked about this. He has brought Sam Washington back to be an advisor. I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that is going to serve him well. And again, goes back to, once again, Coach, we talk about this all the time. We have so much talent that's on the sidelines that people are not making a call to. But again, Coach Gibbs has a relationship with Coach Washington. I think that's just an excellent opportunity for Coach Washington to come back in, help the team out, build that team. So, Coach, what do you think about Sam Washington coming back being an advisor? And also, what do you think about more coaches getting retired coaches per se, to be advisors like that?
I think it's excellent, man. One, Sam gave him opportunity to work. He found a way to give Sam work. But not more so of that is that Coach Washington, he can come and evaluate and analyze, what direction he's going, because he's been there, he's done that. He could be a great advisor, as well as being able to watch film and see, because Sam Washington was a great defense coordinator. I know I faced him a couple times and struggled. I remember at Alabama State, he held me to 7 points.
Wow.
Lo and behold, I was playing with my backup quarterbacks because we had suspended our starter and a couple other players. But I don't take anything away from Sam Washington and what he does and what he was. When he was at Mississippi Valley under Willie Totten, that was the last winning season. So Sam has been with Broadway, Coach Rod Broadway, who have won championships. So I mean, it's iron sharpens iron. And I really believe that. And I thought it was a great move for Sean to get some maturity on the staff.
I love that.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. Now, we know Sam, as a coach, was very successful against the blacks. Will Sam help him beat the whites? Because they're not in the blacks. They're not in a black conference anymore.
Right.
Can he help him beat the whites?
Well, I mean, he not calling the shots. He more or less addressing some of the issues, there. Maybe he can recognize, if the defense coordinators is putting the offense in a bad situation and so on with the other. And the other part, when you sit in that seat, man, you got to have somebody that you can lean on. I've been fortunate enough to have my brother to lean on and then my college coach as well, or coaches that you've came behind, that you can lean on that's been in those situations. Not talking about what they heard and what they seen is actually what they've been in and been able to make those decisions. So I don't think he's there to assist in that directly, but indirectly, I think he could definitely help him out.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, you know, and I hear, you know, about the black and white issue, which it is an issue, and most black schools don't beat PWI schools, and I'll give them all a tidbit, and maybe I need to sell some of my information, but you got to make sure that you're disciplined, coach. You got to make sure that your football team is disciplined. But you know, a lot of that is going out the window now because these kids are jumping and bouncing, and coaches are now afraid of putting them in their place. You know, I always told you, I coach from the front of the line. I don't coach from the back. I feel that when I, you know, establish, you know, how the program is going to be, I expected my leaders to be those people. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not, I'm getting on them. I'm not getting on a kid that don't play, that don't, you know, that is not ready to produce, because I want him to learn from the guy in the front. So you know, if I could say, you know, you definitely got to have your team disciplined. And some coaches, man, we do it a lot. Talent, we get seduced by talent. You know what I mean? Ooh, he can run a 4.4. Ooh, he's 6'8". Ooh, but the boy don't want to go to class. You know, you want to fight against the stuff that you do in your program. And, you know, sometimes you got to send them down the road, coach, you know, to make a point.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you this about the coaching hires. We all know what's been hired thus far. We all know that for the most part, Coach, we have several coaches that have NFL experience, right? But some of them have very little HBCU experience, okay?
Right.
Let me ask you this. How important do you think it is to have HBCU experience in order to be successful at an HBCU school?
Well, because you know what you're coming into. You know what I mean? You know where the bathroom is. You know that there's some other things that's not in place before you even get to the football field that you got to put in place. You know, I get stuff from people because of my disagreement with these celebrity guys coming out to be coaches. They'll send me some about, you know, one of them taking a picture with the mayor, or one of them taking a picture with the governor and stuff like that. And I'm trying to tell them this is what I'm talking about. Any football program, legitimate football program, from the athletic director's office to the marketing office, should have all these things in place and ready to go no matter who they hire. So as a coach now, here I am coming in, and I don't know anything about being a head coach. I got to create all these avenues because that's what a head coach does. The assistants coach the team per se. The head coach push the program together and make sure the program. And you know, I always tell you, Rocky, a program will beat talent any day and any time, man. You know, on a consistent basis. So I think it hurts them. It's already having a problem when a guy come in on the interview, and you can attest to this, Cam, when he come on the interview or he comes in to present himself, not even necessarily on the interview. Let's say he's trying to sell something, and he has to get his projector and put this pitch up on the board, and then he's got to be able to go up and talk, right? And everybody looking at him, and he's never been in that situation. Well, that's the same thing with being a head coach. You come in the room, and sometimes you got to put something up on the board, you know what I mean, and write up 22 men and where they go and what direction they go in and everything else. If you can't do that, and the kids start seeing that you don't understand that and you don't know, then how do you first teach your kids, let alone correcting coaches? So if I can't correct you, then what am I saying? And I keep telling y'all guys, this is an egotistical business. It's some assistant coaches, man, or it's just people, period, because it's a people business. Don't like somebody telling me something and you don't know yourself. And then, in the game tight or you fool around. I'll give y'all a story. We're in the championship game. Me and my brother in the championship game. We play at Murray State. It's 4th down. We on our 20. We down, Coach. We down. 19-7, something like that. And it's 4th down and 1. And I'm telling my brother, let's go for it. All right. This is my brother now. Y'all know I love my brother. All right. Well, it came down from the top, the defense coordinator say, no, Coach, let's kick it. And I'm saying, no, I'm telling y'all, because, Coach, we average 38 points a game, all right? So I'm telling him no. So the offensive line was telling me.
You had a play. You had a play, huh, Coach?
Coach, I didn't know how only play. We called timeout. The offense knew what play it was. We don't run power, all right? And Coach, my brother said, no, this is my team. I said, what? Coach, I went 10K crazy. I threw my playbook off. My bands went off. We called timeout. I heard that my mother in the stands said, "Look at that Johnny, he's showing out again." And then one coach, named Willie Jones, who was a mentor, LC's mentor, was on our staff. He came down and, man, gather your stuff. Get your stuff, man. And then my brother came back and put his well, what we gonna call? I said, Coach, we gonna call power. It ain't no tomorrow. And man, we ended up calling power. Not only did we get the first down, we went on and got a touchdown. But some people can't recover from an incident like that. You see what I'm saying? I give you a couple incidents where, I actually bumped chests with coaches and fired them till we got back to the school. You know what I mean? My defensive coordinator, Mississippi Valley. We play in Mississippi Valley State. We had some kids that did some things wrong the night before. And I'm like, hey, with a kid, our starting linebacker, no, he's not going to play. And he was with one of the trainers. She not going to train. All right? So I'm sitting on the bus, and they in there taping him up. And I said, look, he ain't going to play. My defense coordinator felt like that was bull crap because we were on the run to win the SWAC conference. And I said, bullshit, he ain't playing. And so I went on the field. He calls a meeting with his defensive staff. And I'm like, well, it's time to stretch. Damn it, I done made the decision. It's time to stretch. Defense staff come on the field. We meet at the 50-yard line, Bishop, and we bump chests. And a lot of underlining things were said up underneath that, But at the end, I said, this is my team. You know what I'm saying? This is my team, and damn it, what I say, go. I actually had to get the cops to put him off the field, Coach. And the cop was hesitant. He felt like, because he loved both of us. And I said, look, do I need to call the president? Because I will. And Coach, he ended up going to the stands. We win 30-0, Coach. We still on our way, man. We come back. The kids was feeling bad. I'm feeling bad. I know he was feeling bad. But I wasn't gonna let him back. But when I seen those kids, man, they want to play for him, and I swallowed my pride, and we went on, of course, to win the SWAC. But some people can't recover from them incidents. You know what I'm saying? It's an egotistical business, man, and if you don't know, and I know you don't know, that's a hard pill to swallow, Coach. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Coach, it sounds like sometimes coaches not only have to coach players hard, you have to coach other coaches hard to get the best out of them.
But that's the head coaching job. And we talk. I told you guys about another coach I had talked to this season, who had came to me and confided in me about, his coaches are playing the wrong people. And I'm saying, Coach, either they gonna get you far, or you need to fire them. You know what I mean? You are the head coach. You the one got to make the final decision. I heard the Shuns talk about he's going to hire some older coaches and they going to coach the team. It's going to come a time when you're going to have to put your big draws on and be a head coach and make a decision.
All right, Coach. Our featured guest has arrived, and whenever he's ready, just give us a thumbs up.
Coach Campbell going to introduce him, but I want to tell you how I met him as a young coach. Okay. He was coaching at Prairie View, and the day before we had the banquet, the Labor Day Classic banquet, and I was just saying, how can they win? They bringing all these people from DC area and everything. Boy, they took it personal, Coach. They took it personal, man. We was kind of at the half on the football field, boy. Them young coaches, boy, they ready to jump on me, Coach. But I kind of got away from them, and then end up, down the line, we ran into each other at a coaching convention, and I started talking to them, and they understood where I was coming from, man. And I like cocky guys, and I think it's an asset. I think a guy with confidence is an asset in this game we call football, this game we call athletics. And I love this guy, and I love him from afar. He don't know that, but I'm gonna let Coach Campbell bring him in and give some of his background.
Well, we are happy to have, because this is HBCU Coaches Corner, because guess what? We have actual coaches here. So we are proud to have. And you know what? I'm going to ask him, because I've heard this first name pronounced Antonè or Antoné Sewell, but he is the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator of those Morgan State Bears, and a proud alumnus of Bowie State University. So we have got Coach Sewell here, and he's going to tell us why they're going to win the MEAC this year.
Well, they come out with fire on you, don't they, Coach?
Listen, as I was riding home, I had to tell myself, I said, okay, I'm going on Johnnie Cole's show, so I know somebody gonna try to bait me into saying something, and I gotta maintain my composure, similar to like I was able to hear the story you told, and as I told you when you and I finally talked about it, man. Me at the time, I'm 20-something. I got dreads down to my shoulders, and I only say East Coast because I know everybody from Texas consider us East Coast guys, but at the time we called it DC Metro area. Now it's called DMV. We don't consider ourselves East Coast. East Coast is New York and Philly and all those kind of guys. We are a region within ourselves. And as I told Coach Cole, man, I just wasn't. As I did my research, I kind of found out that's kind of just how things go in the SWAC. Guys talk trash and sling mud at each other and then go out and have a drink later on that day. And, and wives and kids hang out. I wasn't necessarily used to that. So I'm like, man, hold up. Who is this dude coming in here talking crazy to us? Like, we're not going like that. Hold on, it's gonna probably be a couple guest appearances by my 7-year-old as well. It seems like he always has.
Hey, we got a kid-friendly show, Coach, so it's all right.
He always has he got every issue in the world. Anytime I get on Zoom, I put both your pencils inside your red notebook. So we just coming home from basketball
Shout
practice,
out for fatherhood. Shout out to fatherhood, man.
No doubt.
That's dope.
Listen, gotta wear multiple hats. But again, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Anytime I get an opportunity to speak about my program and and my coaches and a little bit about myself, I think it's a blessing and one that I cherish, because I think part of kind of what we have going on right now, I think it's important that we do a good job as coaches, especially HBCU coaches, of trying to market ourselves and kind of what we do, because I do think that it has been kind of undervalued and overlooked in some aspects recently.
Hey, Coach Sewell, my name is Rocky, man, and I'm a huge HBCU fan. But the first thing I got to ask you is, you guys won a championship at Bowie State a couple years ago.
Three of them in a row.
Yeah, but only one of them.
Okay.
Coach Cavill, Dr. Cavill commissioned me to send y'all some cigars as a gift over to Bowie State. I sent it over to Bowie State, and I don't know if y'all got them or not, because shortly after y'all won the championship, y'all moved to Morgan. So I don't even know if you and Coach Wilson ever received those bundle of cigars. Hopefully some gentlemen over there enjoyed them at some point, but I was just wondering, did they ever make it to their destination?
You know what? Me knowing Coach Wilson as good as I do, he probably received them, and then when I left to go to Alabama State, he probably didn't give me mine as a punishment or something. So I'm gonna make sure I ask him about that first thing in the morning at our staff meeting, because I do remember, now as you said, I do remember Dr. Cavill telling me that he was sending us some stuff over.
Yeah, we sent it
but
over.
I do not remember getting my cigar. So when I speak with Coach Wilson, tomorrow is payday. So once I make sure my direct deposit hit, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'm
Ask
not gonna
about
do it
those
before
cigars,
then, though.
man. Hey, it was from my company, Slow Burn. So
Okay.
So check it out. But no, I wanted to ask you that question. Being that you guys have won championships before, right? And y'all are in year 2 of your program. What does your progress look like? Because, Coach, I picked you guys to finish second this year, right? I like what you guys did at Bowie. I thought y'all had a very promising first year. And the second year, I didn't see the movement that I thought I would see in year 2. But tell me where you think you guys are in your program moving forward.
We're actually going into year 4, and I agree with you. I agree with you from the standpoint of, I think that we expected a little bit more progress going into last year. Now we did win the most games that Morgan has won in the past 10 years last year. I think our biggest thing is just we've struggled a little bit with consistency. And I know one of the things that we talk about a lot is moving away from expectations and just talking more about the standard. Because when you have a standard, that doesn't change. It doesn't matter who's in. It doesn't matter, what coaches are there. It doesn't matter what goes on around you. When you set a standard, everything that you do is with that standard in mind. When you talk about expectations can vary and change based on many different factors. But your standard is your standard. You don't allow anything to get you away from that standard. And I think that once we get some consistency in terms of maintaining our standard in everything we do on and off the field as coaches and players, we will see, what we know we have the ability to do. You'll be able to see it really comes to fruition from a consistent standpoint. If you just look at our results from a schedule, from a game standpoint over the past few years, you can really see the inconsistency, within our program. When you look at, we've had some really, really big wins and some close losses to some really, really good teams. And then we've had some games where, you look at the score and almost like did Morgan even show up, to the game today, based on the outcome of the game. And, some of that, like I said, I'm the type of guy where I'm going to always look at myself first. As a coach, anything that goes on with us defensively, I'm going to always look at myself. And I just saw, someone, guy, and I do appreciate people recognizing kind of some of the things that we've done defensively. But I also look at it like, if we win a game 2-0 or 3-0, that's a win. If we lose a game, I'm going to look at myself first and look at what we did first. We're not into finger pointing or blame placing or trying to turn the offense versus the defense or the defense versus special teams and those type of things. At the end of the day, the record says Morgan State University. So whatever that record is, we take the losses just like we celebrate the wins together. We accept the defeats together as well. So just trying to be consistent. One of the unique things that Coach Wilson did, and I commend him for this, because the thing that I can say about him is obviously he understands that we have to adapt to the different changes and the climate in college football, but he's not veering off of his purpose and the reason why he coaches the game. So when we came in, we got hired in June. And coming in June, obviously, you're scrambling to try to put a roster together and those kind of things. But even after that first season, he was adamant about not just throwing away all the players that were here with the previous regime. A lot of those guys were really close to graduating, maybe a semester or 2 away from graduating. And he was adamant that, hey, we're going to keep these kids and we're going to make the most that we can out of these kids, because it's not those kids' fault that the coach left in the middle of a semester And now you got guys that are scrambling, trying to find a way to get their degree, which is why they came to school for. So he told us, hey, listen, you're going to have to work with who we have here. We're gonna make the most out of these guys, and try to get what we can out of them. And like I said, to those kids' credit, man, a lot of those kids bought in. Not all of them, just being completely honest, but enough of them bought in for us to be able to salvage something out of that season and have and put together a competitive roster the following season. But I will say that this year, this team is going to probably be the team that looks the most like what we want our program to look like from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a emotional, spiritual, like any factors that contribute to the success of a program. I think that this year's team is going to be really, really, really what you can expect from us moving forward from a program standpoint.
Yeah. How many guys you returning on defense?
We lost our entire secondary.
Oh, wow.
We lost Elijah Williams, who was defensive player of the year for the MEAC.
Wow.
So we probably, for our starters, like I said, we have no starters returning in the secondary. We have 2 starting D linemen and 2 starting linebackers. One full-time starter and then one guy in Eric Hunter, who probably would have been one of the top linebackers in all of FCS this year. He actually had a shoulder surgery in the offseason that kept him out most of the year. And by the time he got healthy, we just decided like we weren't going to waste his senior year on just a 5-game schedule. So he actually played for us in the last 2 games of the season. Still kind of spot played in the Delaware State game. I'm sorry, in the South Carolina State game, and then played probably about 30 or 40 plays for us in the Howard game. So he'll be a guy that'll come back and lead our defense. But I mean, when you look at our numbers, and when you look at our numbers secondary wise last year, I'm going to miss some of those guys being around, but it gives us an opportunity to really have a fresh start at that position. And I think with the guys that we brought in and a couple of guys that were backups last year stepping up to some larger roles, I think we'll be much better in that area as well.
Yeah. Coach Sewell, I'm gonna pivot a little bit, and one of the reasons why I started this show and talk with Rocky and of course the Bishop is to I think you're a fine guy. I think you're a guy that I think look down the line and have worked your way up, and hopefully one day your name will be called. Put on your let's look outward look of Coach Antonè Sewell, you as a head coach. What in the first 30 days, if you had that spot, what would be important to you in the first 30 to 60 days?
This is obviously, I know a question that comes up a lot in coaching interviews, and I've been advised to answer that question a certain way by different people. But for me, I think the most important thing, man, I think the business that we're in is still about the players. It's still about the kids. I think one of the very first things that I would do in any head coaching position is try to get in front of the team. Try to get in front of the team. Try to start to build a relationship with those guys. Try to get to know those guys. Give those guys an opportunity to to get to know me. Obviously, you've got to integrate yourself with the alumni and the administration and the stakeholders on campus. And different donors and those kind of things. But I think sometimes we turn it into so much of a business. And like I tell people all the time, man, I don't, some people want to call me, different, or throw different compliments at me when it comes to, my ability when it comes to my ability to coach defense. But I think my biggest asset is my ability to coach people. So I think getting to know the team and obviously putting together a great staff and giving the guys who are there an opportunity to speak with me as well, because I think sometimes when people come in, you have your mindset on the guys you want to bring in and those kind of things. But I think it's important to recognize that when the coach leaves, there are always a few coaches out there hang around and kind of keep everything together, and maintain a relationship with the student athletes and those kind of things. And I think that it's important that you sit down and have a conversation with those guys as well, even if you plan on moving on from them, just to kind of let them know what your reason is, or maybe hear them out. We're in a situation now, I know defensively, where coming into Morgan, we kept my cornerbacks coach Omar Smith. He was a guy who really held everything together during the transition from when Coach Wheatley left and when Coach Wilson took over. He's been a tremendous asset for us. He was a guy that really bridged the gap between us and those players that were left over. He's also done a great job of kind of connecting us with the different people on campus that we need to get things done as far as meeting rooms and scheduling and those kind of things. So again, just try to get in and hit the ground running in terms of just getting to know the people that are going to be important for me to have success where I'm going.
Right. Coach, you've been to several different places and also been a champion. What is your philosophy, on being in a head coaching position, and what's your philosophy on the game?
Well, again, obviously, I have not been a head coach,
Right.
and I one of the things that I've learned from being around different coaches is sometimes things change as you get into it. When you really get into a situation and assess things, you kind of learn what's important and what's necessary at those times. Hold on, guys. Give me one second.
Go ahead. No, you fine. Go ahead. Take care, little.
No,
little man
take
in
care.
the screen, Coach. Can we see little man? What's up,
there
little
you
man?
go. What up, my man?
You got a great father, man. You lucky.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got some vocabulary words going on right here.
See, the learning never stops, huh, Coach?
Never ever. Listen, it's constant. And the great thing about it, just kind of talking about my situation here specifically at Morgan is he's able to come around and be a part of what we have going on. Just this past weekend we had a recruiting visit, and I stepped out to go and take one of the young men in their family to meet with Coach Wilson, and I come back and I'm kind of scrambling like, oh my goodness, where's my son? And I look up, and some of the players, when they came into the gym and saw he was there, they grabbed him and took him to the section with them. Like he's like all of their little brother.
Yeah. See, hey, he the next. So what you keep him around, you be like the Schottenheimers. What they just hard to
Man,
Dallas Cowboys.
Starting on.
But we keep giving our jobs away to folks don't even come to our school. But we gonna get to that later. We gonna get to that later.
I'm sorry. So we were talking about as far as philosophies.
Yeah.
Like I said, my thing is, so we have a saying that we say defensively here at Morgan, and to use the acronym HEART. We talk about humility, effort, accountability, respect and toughness. So my general philosophy when it comes to the game is we want to master the things that require no talent. We all know that there's always going to be somebody bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you, smarter than you, whatever the case may be. Somebody's going to have the upper hand of you in some area in the game. Everybody has scholarships, and everybody is doing a great job of combing through the entire nation, sometimes the world. Now we got international players in our game to find the absolute best talent. So to me, what can separate us from those teams or put us above those teams is we've got to be really, really good at at those intangible things. Those little things that when talent is even, or you're facing a team that may be more talented than you, it allows you to still tip the scales in your favor. And so what I do all the time is I just try to get guys to just recognize, hey, you may not always be able to have the upper hand in certain areas, but if you do these things consistently on and off the field, we're going to always give ourselves a shot in the end. Also, I'm trying to teach life through the game of football. I happened to come on and hear Coach Cole telling a story about, one of your star players having an incident and, you having to sit that guy down. I'll never forget. It's something I learned in high school where, my coaches, they were very, very firm when it came to discipline. It was a situation where, hey, you make a mistake, there's going to be consequences for it. So, I'm big on, I think probably my biggest two pillars out of the things we talked about are accountability and respect. I tell people all the time, man, like respect to take you places even money can't sometimes. I've been blessed and had the opportunity to, to take my son to some different professional football and basketball games. And a lot of it has just been me picking up the phone and making a call like, hey, I see you guys are playing, this team in town this week. Is it possible, to get me a couple of tickets, and because of the relationships that I've built and the things that I've done, for people and with some people along the way, it's like, hey, whatever you need, I got you. So I try to teach our young men that you never know what bridges you have to cross. So you should be respectful, and every room you step into, somebody should have something positive to say about you, because that way, if you need those people, you're going to need some of those people again in life to get where you're trying to go. So it's important that you maintain those relationships and have a good reputation and uphold your family's name. Yeah. And when you talk about accountability, man, I think that, to me, everything that I am and everything that I've become as a father, friend, coach, mentor, any role that I play in life, I've learned the principles and the tools to be successful in those roles through football. I can remember, we talk about, during my time at Prairie View, I was the youngest full-time coach on the staff, the only one who wasn't married, at the time, or either married or didn't have a family at the time. And I can remember sitting back and watching these guys, and how they were with their families, how they were with their kids, and how they were able to balance. I can remember times of having guys say, "Hey, look, I need you to run this meeting because I got to get to my son's football game," or hey, I'm in the morning I'm gonna be in a few minutes late because I got to drop my kid off at school and those kind of things. And that was nothing like what I heard coaching was like. But the fact that we had success and I watched how those guys did it, that's the template now that I use in terms of being balanced and being a father and being a coach. And I just try to get my guys to understand that. One of the reasons why I bring my son around all the time, outside of the fact that his mom is a basketball coach, so sometimes our schedules can get a little tricky. So sometimes I have to bring him around, but I choose to bring him around also because I want those young men to see an example of what a good father looks like. Yeah. I know for a lot of those guys, unfortunately, they don't have that. Some of them don't. Some of them didn't grow up with a father in the home, or don't have a father that's still playing a prominent role in their lives now. So how are they going to grow up to be, good fathers and husbands if they don't see somebody doing it? So I try to bring my kid around as much as I can and allow them to see, hey, coach is here every day. Coach is showing up, getting his job done, but he isn't allowing that to cause him not to be present, in his son's life and take care of his primary responsibilities.
Yeah, I got another question, and then the audience don't know that you've coached under 2 championship coaches in Wilson as well as Henry Frazier. Not only that, you've been a part of being the only championship Prairie View has won now in maybe 50 years, 50, 60 years, and y'all came in and won a championship. What have you learned from those 2 guys? And you still with Wilson, and of course, y'all won 3 at Bowie State. Now if I'm a coach, if I'm looking for a coach, which one would you describe? And I want you to talk about what you've learned from both of them. That I need a coach. I'm a perennial losing team, and when I look at your resume and I look at Prairie View, they had 8 losing seasons, didn't win a game. Of course, Bowie State, and now you're at Morgan, and really, you guys have the numbers ain't the win and loss category hadn't really showed that, but people don't want to just play y'all. They're not walking in the Morgan State now and saying, we're gonna beat Morgan by 30 no more. I think you guys have gotten a lot of respect, from winning them championships at Boyd with Coach Wilson. So you have Coach Frazier, Coach Wilson. You've turned programs around. Kind of go through that and what you've learned from those two gentlemen.
Again, just really the biggest thing that I take from both of those guys is just how they treat people, man. And when I tell you, like, it has been a joy.
Hey, but I need to make a joke. Tell Coach Henry I need him to come on the show, man.
I got you.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, listen. I guarantee you the entire state of Texas, the entire state of all the residents who lived in the state of Texas from 2007 to 2010 would tune in for that one. That would be a monumental show to see you guys on the same show with this. Anybody who attended some of those press conferences would be probably pleasantly surprised at that one.
Tell him I didn't mean it, man. I forgive him.
I know.
Charge it to my head and not my heart, man.
He is probably most people who are around him now probably wouldn't believe he's the same person, man. He has changed and grown so much. All of us have, obviously, but
he's Dr. Frazier now.
Dr. Henry Frazier, yes indeed. But like I said, the biggest thing I learned from both of those guys is, man, just how to treat people. I watched and I'm sure you guys probably saw the same thing. We never had the most talented roster during our time at Prairie View. Yeah. We were probably one of the smaller teams. We weren't extremely fast. But when you talk about a guy who can sell water to a well, I mean, like, we would be in places sometime like recruiting or like alumni events, and he would be talking, and I know, and he's not lying, but when you talk about selling the dream and some of the stuff he's saying, I know it's far-fetched because I'm in the room. And I know I'm like that beautiful stadium they have now. I mean, he had everybody believing that we were going to get that within 6 months of the time he was talking to them. And again, I'm in here every day with him, and as he's talking, I'm listening. I'm like, damn, like, we might have a new stadium next week. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, man.
Good motivator.
Just extremely charismatic, but genuine. Like I said, even when he was, I'll say, stretching the truth a little bit, he made it so believable and was so genuine. But you always knew that he cared. You always knew that he cared. I played for him. I have no idea what made me go coach with him, because when I tell you he gave me the blues as a player, and I was a decent person. But again, his standard and what he required of us was always, you had to be tough. And that's kind of how
sound like he's seen something in you to take you with him.
No doubt. Yeah. And he always told me that. It was just like, I think the bar that he set for me was so high because, for one, we went to the same high school. Obviously, he was a lot. He was probably 10 years ahead of me, but we played for the same high school coach. So he, like you said, he knew what I had in me. So he always pushed me to make sure that that I was living up to the standard that was set, and and doing the things I was supposed to do. But
y'all teams, coach, I can say this. And I know y'all have my playbook. I already knew that, but y'all play hard. And I know y'all had somebody on me what play I was calling and what hand signal. I knew it. But y'all, coach, y'all had them kids playing hard. It was like we stole something from them, coach. They played hard all 3 times, Coach.
Listen, when I
three
tell
times
you,
y'all beat us. Even when we won the SWAC championship, y'all was the only team to beat us.
When I tell you, I'm surprised we didn't get a speeding ticket going down 290 leaving from that press conference. That was probably one of the best practices we had because he took that and that's who he was. Like almost if you watch the Michael Jordan special, The Last Dance, like how he said, like how everything that happened, he said, I took that personal. That's how Frazier was, and he was able to get that message through to our players so well. Like again, like and there would be times where he may put his own little spin on it. Hey man, Johnnie Cole said we got all these guys from Maryland and Texas Southern didn't want none of the guys we got from Texas. I'm like, Coach, he ain't say that, but that's what he had to say to get them guys going, and they always responded. But
I felt like the first year we wasn't ready. Y'all were gonna be it. Then the second year I thought we was it, but third year I said, man, I know I got a better team than him. Yeah. And Coach, y'all still came out and just outplayed us, Coach. Y'all just outplayed us, man.
Yeah, and you see now he's in, I want to say year 2 or 3 at Virginia State, and already has those guys playing in the CIAA championship and competing for a spot in the playoffs. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he's a builder. Like I said, he's a great motivator, and him and Coach Wilson are thick as thieves, but they're night and day when it comes to coaching styles. Both of them are really, really, big on people and how you treat people, and like I said, just one of the things that we talk about is, and this means all of us, those two, really everybody that comes from under that quote unquote Frazier tree, like they don't care what you know until they know that you care. So one of the things that we're big on is just really, really like wrapping our arms around our kids and showing them that we genuinely care about them, we love them. And it's and to be honest with you, it makes it hard for us in this environment because it's not like how it was in the sense of during those days, you got back from kids what you gave them. Nowadays, I mean, you can love a kid and give them everything you have, and kid has success and he's in the portal. Yeah. So it's a little difficult to continue to because it makes you feel like, hey, did I do all this for nothing? But you realize that, there are going to be some that are going to be appreciative for what you're doing. There are going to be some that are going to, that need that, and you continue to do it, because that's just who you are. You can't be fake or phony in this business, to me, and think you're gonna have success. Definitely not on our level, because we're still, even though HBCUs are kind of getting into the NIL and the revenue sharing game a little bit, we're never going to be able to compete with some of the bigger schools when it comes to that. So we can't just look at it as straight up business. We've still got to continue to do what, in my opinion, HBCUs are designed to do, which is help young men to grow and nourish them and help them to become men and be successful and and contribute to our society. And also obviously win football games at the same time. But again, the biggest thing I learned from both of those guys is, man, like just how to maximize what everybody has within them, whether it be players, coaches, trainers, managers, those kind of things. There were times where I've watched people do things, and in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, like coach is about to explode. And I've watched, how they approach it and almost like, like killing them with kindness.
Right.
And because of that, like I said, that to me, that's why both of them have had tremendous success. We've never had super complicated schemes and, been super innovative on offense or defense. We just go out and find people that really, really want to be, within our programs and just push them to the max.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to the guys, man. Like I said, I know you got a future, and we're gonna get into some other stuff if you got time to stay around. Coach Campbell, go ahead.
Now, Coach, I have followed you, always been impressed. But the one thing I have noticed that you are very active on social media, and that you don't have a problem having discussions with people.
For sure.
On various things. Actually, I looked and I said, wait a minute, I think me and this coach have had some discussions.
We probably have.
Yeah, we have. Because but this ain't about me and you. This ain't about me and you. But this is something, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Let me see if I can share this right here. Let's see here.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Right here, Coach. Can you guys see this?
We can't see it.
Okay, wait a minute.
All right, it's coming up now.
There you go, right there. This is our coach. Yeah, this is our coach right here, Coach. And Coach, there was a lot of talk of new coaches that were former football players that, one at Delaware State, one at Norfolk State. But Coach had to kind of let them know, they had to stick out his chest out there. He said, I'm looking forward to the competition. It's a moot point if we don't have good showings against these teams. I hope they don't assume that we're sweet because we didn't play or have long careers in the league. Now, Coach, you got a lot of burn off of that tweet now.
Man, listen.
You got a lot of burn. So now, Coach, now wait a minute. I'm gonna set this
all right,
up.
we opening up the doors.
Yeah. I got to set this up.
Go ahead. I knew it was coming. I'm ready.
Yeah, Coach, see.
Hey, and I must say it was retweeted by his favorite AD. But go ahead.
We're going to keep it moving. We're not going to go there. We're going to leave that alone. But Coach,
because that's my girl now.
Coach, like I said, we've had discussions. We good. This 2025. We need to be at peace. So
for sure.
So my thing is, Coach, you all finished third, played hard in the mirror, but now they got people putting y'all down at fourth and fifth now, Coach. Because he knew Coach. So tell us why that you felt that you needed to respond, and also in the room behind when y'all locked those doors and y'all heard all this fanfare of Delaware State and Norfolk State teams that y'all have consistently beaten. What did you guys think about this overall and the fanfare they get, and what made you post this tweet?
First and foremost, man, if we don't know it or didn't already know it, some things came out today that our that you guys president is trying to do, and so I say that to say I'm not here to try to knock any black man, black coach that's who has an opportunity to do what we do. Let's make that clear first and foremost. Ironically, I actually reached out to Deshaun Jackson when I first heard the news, because he and I have been going back and forth about trying to get some kids, trying to help us to get some kids from out there on the West Coast. So I'm happy to see I'm happy to see both of them get opportunities. But all I was saying was everybody is. Everybody, there really has been no neutral opinions when it comes to the NFL coaches getting former NFL players getting opportunities. Like everybody opinion has either been they love it or they hate it. I don't have a true opinion on it because my opinion is biased.
My name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.